Good morning, Mitch Kamich Coaching, and welcome back. And here is another piece of information to make you and your business absolutely explode. Amazing lives, extraordinary businesses, that's what we do. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how you actually work with a coach. I've already addressed in a previous video, of course, in some of my content you will have seen online, on why you would need a coach. But how do you work with a coach, and specifically what it is that, well, everybody needs to do when they're going to work with a coach. So what should you expect when you work with a coach, how the work is actually done, and what you and your coach should be expected to do. Now, the biggest insight, the biggest takeaway you should get today is exactly how you should expect to get better at what it is you do. And of course, whether you are willing to engage or not. If you engage, then you will be able to maximize the return on working with a coach. And that is the biggest thing to remember about actually working with a coach and how to work with one as well. Key things to remember: what to expect, how the work is done, and who's responsible for what. What am I responsible for? What is my coach responsible for this relationship to work really well? Why we need to know. Not just why to work with a coach, which I've already spoken about, but how to work with a coach. We can never do this alone, all right? The most successful people in the world, even the best coaches in the world, have coaches. They have somebody else that they can go to get some direction. And so how to work with it is something to understand for us so that we can maximize the return of a person that we bring into our life and help us in our business to get better. Now, why is that important for me to say, and how you should work with a coach? I work with a coach, and I've talked about that quite a bit. His name is Keith, and he is absolutely fantastic. He is a wonderful human being. He keeps me organized. But how we work is very clinical. We meet on a regular basis, weekly in fact, for about 30 minutes at a time, and we meet over the phone. Now, we have a very specific formula and mandate that we follow. So how I work with Keith when we were matched and paired together is quite simple. When I come in, I need to let him know what it is that's happened over the last week. I need to tell him where I'm at right now uniquely from both my head and my business perspective. And then I need to tell him what's going to happen next. He provides insights, suggestions, guidance, support, and sometimes a kick in the bum. And that's what I get out of my relationship with Keith. But that's how we work mechanically. Now, when I go back to what I said to start with, what should we expect? How the work is actually done and who's responsible for what. When you work with a coach, what you should expect is that you are not going to be passive in this relationship. You are going to be very, very active. The act of hiring a coach and bringing a coach or a mentor or a consultant into you and your business needs to be a very active relationship that you have. You should expect that you will be, of course, responsible to this person, that you will be, of course, answering to them for decisions that you and your business make and the things that you're doing. You should expect that they will provide the best care, insight, and suggestions to help you and your business to grow forward. You should expect to engage, and you should also expect to be challenged quite a bit. In fact, a relationship with a coach is such that if you don't expect to be challenged when you're doing this, then you don't have a great relationship with your coach to start with. So you need to expect that you are going to be given complete clarity on what it is you want to do, as long as you provide clarity into the situation to start with, right? That there will be accountability. In other words, when I say I'm going to do something, that this person is going to expect that I carry it out, and that the advice and suggestions for the blood, sweat, and tears that they help put into you, that they, in return, will have had their efforts well-founded in you being able to accelerate yourself, of course. And that last expectation is for you to be able to accelerate, for you to be able to get ahead, for you to be able to get those things that you want out of life more than anything else. Now, that is one of the largest points that we have to take. And there's really only 3 to pay attention to. So your expectation should be that there's going to be clarity, there's going to be accountability, and that you're going to put in as much work as the coach is to be able to help you get further ahead. Does that make sense? Now, how is the work going to be done? This is very specific, very special. There will be accountability, perhaps it's documents, emails, online forms, templates, and other things like that. that you'll be tasked with filling in the information of where you are uniquely and what the goals that you agree on with your coach that you want to achieve next. And then the type of work that you have to do individually as well as from a business perspective will be agreed on between the two of you. There will be a discussion around what is going to be the best use of your time and resources from yourself, your money, the efforts, and the way you put yourself into it. And then the way to use those time and resources to really achieve what it is that you want out of this. Now, what type of work will need to be done is you will be engaged in conversation face-to-face, Skype, email, Facebook Messenger. There's a million ways for us to communicate with each other these days. You will be tasked, and the coach will be tasked with as well, being able to put that information into one place so that you have concrete, you have tangible, you have black and white details. Detail 1, Detail 2, Detail 3, Detail 4, Detail 5. And these are the accountabilities that we say in the next week or in the next 2 weeks or in the next month. These must be achieved, and here's the method that we're going to take to achieve them. And here's what accountability looks like. Here's where I'm going to report back and tell you how that works, how the results turned out, where I failed, of course, and then what we did to correct that and move forward again. And then that way the coach will have input and insight to help correct and help you to get what? Well, more achievement and further ahead. Lastly, and this is the most important part about what it is that we do, is who's responsible for what. What you're responsible for and what the coach is responsible for are two very different things. Now, ultimately, the results when you're working with your coach are going to be because you two, or you three, or you and your partners, or you and your spouse are working in collaboration with your coach. The responsibilities, though, are very important. You're responsible for showing up. You are responsible for bringing the right mental attitude. You're responsible for bringing the resources in the form of your time, talent, money, if you have it, and the energy to put into this. The coach is responsible for giving you a place to be able to dump out or pour out all of the stuff that you want to do and work on. The coach is responsible for helping you to prioritize that stuff and what you want to work on. And the coach is responsible for helping you to organize it so that you can do it in a timely, efficient, and more importantly, a very effective manner so that you can get the results that you want. So your responsibility is for you, your energy, your time, accountability, and for making a complete commitment into what it is that you and the coach agreed will be the course of action that you're going to take, who's responsible for what those steps are, and what the results need to look like. The coach is going to take responsibility for seeing to it that you are maximizing your talents and getting the absolute best out of what it is that you really want in life. To summarize, your coach and you should expect to work collaboratively, should come together on a regular basis, and should be able to talk through very candidly about the goals that you want to set personally and professionally. Now, what you should expect for the type of work is that you're going to spend time together talking, organizing, planning, strategizing, and then being meticulous for what it is that you need to do next. Here's the set of actions that I need to achieve the goal that I'm after right now. And then that coach is going to be responsible for follow-up, for holding you accountable, and ultimately for making sure that you complete these tasks. But your responsibility is to be the one to actually do it. Coaches will not do this work for you, but they will be able to help facilitate. And what you get, the outcome more than anything else for your relationship with a coach, and what you should expect, but how the work is done, and why you should do the work this way, is that you achieve the absolute best results that you want in life, professionally, personally, financially, and from the way your time is used in the world. Now, if that makes a great deal of sense, then you need to find the opportunity, again, going back to where I talked about why you should get a coach to start with. Find somebody that fits very compatibly with you, and then expect that you will be meticulous in the way you organize, that you will put your information down into one place, that you will establish who's responsible for what work, and that you will take responsibility for you actually executing on that work as well. If you do that, you are going to have a very, very rewarding relationship with a coach, And you're going to find that given the weeks and months and years that go on as you professionally and personally develop, that you're going to achieve far more than you would have when you are just alone. And that right there is the largest reason why you work with a coach. But how the work makes sense. If you don't invest, to start with, your personal time and energy, then the relationship will not work. But if you commit to doing the things that you lay out, and remember, these are your goals, then you will absolutely achieve everything that you want personally and professionally. As a final thought, if you want to know how the coaching relationship works, all you have to do is click the link below or come to my website and you'll find that information at the bottom. Click, you can book a free 30-minute session where we will experience together that very first time that you work with a coach. I hope that you are going to have an outstanding and a fantastic day, that you're going to have a lovely week, that you and your family are full of love, and more than anything else, that you get everything in this world that has to do with the success that you professionally and personally deserve. Have an outstanding day.